Hello, my name is Hannah Swanson and I'm a sophomore here at Alma College, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the barriers that people with disabilities face. So first off, I'm going to start with asking a question of how many of you guys know someone who has a disability? I'm going to assume it's a lot of you because I know a lot of people who have disabilities because it's something that's really common and a lot of people go through them. It could be something small or it could be something big. It could be mental or physical. All disabilities of all kinds, people struggle with them because of the barriers that we have in the world. So everyone looks at disabilities differently. If two people have the same disability, someone's going to look at them as they're the same, but they're really not, because those people grew up in different environments, and they're going to be completely different with how they go through life, how they look at life, so everything's going to be different. But there's a lot of barriers that we put up for people with disabilities that really shouldn't be there. One of the biggest ones is public transportation. So depending on what kind of disability a person has, they might need to figure out exactly how they're going to get to a certain destination, and it might be hard. For example, if someone's in a wheelchair and they need to go down into a subway station, but there's no elevator and all they have is stairs or even an escalator, that's not going to do them much good because that's very hard for a wheelchair to get through. Or if they're trying to get on a bus and the bus only has stairs, they're not going to be able to get on it easily. And I think that instead of them having to ask for help to get down these stairs or up these stairs, there should already be a plan put in place for these people so that way they don't have to ask for the extra help. We should be helping them automatically. These plans need to be in set because these barriers shouldn't be there just because someone is in a wheelchair or just because someone can't figure out the subway schedule because it's so confusing. Another big barrier that they face are high unemployment numbers. A lot of employers, when they're going through the hiring process, if someone is mentally disabled, they might not choose them for the job because they think that they won't be able to do the job as well as someone else. And that's not always the case. A lot of people who are mentally disabled, no matter what that is, they can pay a lot more attention to detail than someone who doesn't have that same disability. Their employers might think that they won't commit to their work or they won't be able to show up just like everyone else, but that is not the case also. They will be able to do their job just like everyone else. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of Goodwill, but they're very well known for hiring people who have disabilities because they know that they're going to be able to do the job just like everyone else. And it's not a hard job, it's just retail. But they're going to be able to hire these people with disabilities and give them the same opportunities that every other job should be giving them. We should be helping them and not just saying, oh, you can't do the job, I don't want to hire you. A third type of barrier that we put up for people with disabilities is fair housing. So if someone in your family has a disability, they're still going to be able to go through life and live on their own, especially if it's just like a physical disability like being blind. So I have heard of this blind YouTuber. Her name is Molly, and she lives in her own apartment. She doesn't need special treatment. She doesn't need special help. She just lives on her own, even though she's blind. She is so independent, and I think that a lot of people think, oh, if someone's blind, like, they need a bunch of extra help or they need someone to show them all the way around. And that's not true. Molly does have a dog, like a guide dog to help her, but like they just don't need all this extra help that we think that they need, that they can't live on their own, that they need someone to be there, because that's not true. Another barrier that we put up is just that we are not aware of people's disabilities and we don't know how to help them. We should know how to help someone who is disabled or who has a limb amputated so they can't do something, or has autism or something like that. We should be able to help them no matter what. We need to be more educated on how to make someone feel good, because just because someone's disabled doesn't mean that they're less of a person. If someone's disabled mentally or physically, they were most likely born with it, or it's genetics, or an accident happened. And they can't control that. So we should not be making them feel like less of a person just because they're disabled. They're equal, they're humans. Don't put them down. We just need to be more aware to be able to help them. So the 4 major types of disabilities, the first one is intellectual. This is like reasoning or problem solving or learning, and a common one is Down syndrome. But again, like I've been saying, just because you have Down syndrome doesn't mean that you can't learn. You just need to learn differently, maybe, and that's okay. Another one is physical. So this could be an amputation or cerebral palsy or something like that. So have any of you guys seen the movie Soul Surfer? It's about surfing. It's very, very good. I really like it. The main character in that is Bethany Hamilton. This is a true story. She had her arm bit off by a shark, and so it was like a amputation. So she was still able to go through life. She is an amazing surfer now. She surfs with one arm. And so she was able to push past the boundaries of that people put up for her, saying, oh, you can't surf with only one arm. She didn't listen. She pushed past that, and she was able to still be a pro surfer just like she wanted to be. Another one is sensory. So this could be blindness, deafness, or autism or something like that. And again, those are not barriers that should be stopping them from succeeding. They can do anything that they want to do. I think that if we learned simple sign language in schools, then we would be able to help someone who is deaf, and we couldn't make them feel bad for just being who they are. And I think that the deaf community would really appreciate that if schools taught just a simple, like, where's the bathroom, or how do I get here, in sign language, so that way we could help these people who are deaf. And lastly, there's the mental illness. So that could be anxiety or ADHD. And even if you have those disabilities, you can still function, and you're not going to let it take over your life. So in total, we just need to be more aware of people's disabilities that they have. I think that we should help them more, and because it's not their fault that they're disabled. And I think that we shouldn't be putting up these barriers just for them to have to break down. These barriers shouldn't be there at all in the beginning. So I think that even if someone is disabled, they're still just as human as us, and they should be treated just as equally. Thank you.